Do you need anything from the store? No, I don't want anything. Oh, I would do anything for that. In English, the word anything can mean a whole lot of different things. But in Spanish, it gets a little tricky. In fact, each of these 3 sentences would use a different Spanish word. In this video, I'll teach you the 3 most common uses of the word anything. We'll also get some active practice so that you can use them correctly by the end of this video. Let's get started. First, let's begin with the most literal translation, cualquier cosa. The word cualquier means any, and cosa means thing, so together we get anything, literally. You'll use cualquier cosa when you're emphasizing the idea of endless possibilities or unrestricted choices. I would do anything for that. Haría cualquier cosa por eso. I'm so hungry I could eat anything. Tengo tanta hambre, podría comer cualquier cosa. In both cases, we say cualquier cosa because we're emphasizing any without restriction. The options are open-ended. Here's one more example. You can do anything you want. Puedes hacer cualquier cosa que quieras. So we're saying, puedes hacer cualquier cosa. There's no restriction. Okay, let's move on to the second translation of anything, the word algo, which literally means something. So wait a second, why would we use algo to mean anything? Well, check out this example in English. Do you want anything? When we ask this question in English, what are we actually trying to say? We're not asking, do you want anything from all the endless possibilities? We're not emphasizing that lack of restriction. Instead, what we actually mean is, do you want something? But idiomatically, we sometimes use the word anything to mean something. So basically, when you're speaking English and you use the word anything, but you could instead use the word something, the word in Spanish would be algo. So for example, do you want anything from the store becomes, do you want something from the store? Or, ¿quieres algo de la tienda? Another example, did you find anything interesting? This could be, did you find something interesting? Or, ¿encontraste algo interesante? So in these contexts, algo refers to specific options from a range of possibilities. So it's like asking, is there a specific thing that you need or want or like or whatever? Oh, and here's a fun bonus tip. This same rule that applies to algo can actually apply to alguien as well. By default, alguien means someone, but it's sometimes translated as anyone. For example, did you find anyone there? ¿Encontraste a alguien ahí? Or maybe, do you want anyone to help you? ¿Quieres que alguien te ayude? As you can see, in both of these sentences, we could have used the word someone. Did you find someone there? Or do you want someone to help you? Since we're not trying to emphasize endless possibilities, we just use alguien instead of cualquier persona, which is the literal way of translating anyone. All right, before we go on to number 3, let's do a little test to see what you've learned. So we're going to do a little quiz here, and you should try to predict whether you'll use cualquier cosa or algo. First of all, we have, can I help you with anything? So what goes in the blank here? ¿Te puedo ayudar con algo? So you would say a sentence like this if you're visiting someone, you're offering to help with something specific, like setting up the table or tidying up. If you said cualquier cosa here, in Spanish it would seem too general, like you're overemphasizing the broad range of things that you could possibly do. And that just wouldn't be idiomatic in this context. Okay, here's another one. Try to predict this. He can say anything that he wants. The answer is, puede decir cualquier cosa que quiera. Next, try this one. Does he have anything to say? ¿Tiene algo que decir? And now for a bonus round, here's an example that uses the word anyone in English. So see if you can predict whether it would be cualquier persona or alguien. Did you see anyone there? The answer is, ¿viste a alguien allí? Okay, how'd you do? If you got any of these wrong, that's okay. I'm going to give you some more ways to practice this on your own at the end of the video. To recap what we've covered so far, cualquier cosa is used in a broad sense to mean anything, where we're emphasizing how many possibilities there are. But the word anything will be translated as algo in specific cases, particularly when it would also work to say something in English. But there's one more way that anything can be translated. Check out this English example. I don't want anything. How do you think this would be translated? If you guessed the word nada, you would be correct. To say I don't want anything in Spanish, you say no quiero nada. In Spanish, double negatives are grammatically correct, so nada pairs with the negation in this sentence. So even though in English you wouldn't say I don't want nothing, in Spanish you would. Yo no quiero nada, or no quiero nada. Let's look at a few more examples. He didn't say anything. No dijo nada. We don't have anything to eat. No tenemos nada para comer. I didn't see anything. No vi nada. It's also interesting that in this translation of the word anything, the word nada is simply the opposite of the word algo. So literally, algo means something and nada means nothing. But either one of them can mean anything in the same sense based on whether the sentence is positive or negative. To see how this works, let's compare the sentence structure of these two sentences. Do you want anything? No, I don't want anything. ¿Quieres algo? No, no quiero nada. And as a bonus, the same principle applies to say anyone in a negative sense. So you would say nadie, which literally means nobody. Here are a couple of examples. I didn't talk to anyone. No hablé con nadie. She didn't see anyone. No vio a nadie. So once again, compare these two sentences we're about to show, where anyone is translated first as alguien and then as nadie. Did you talk with anyone? No, I didn't talk with anyone. ¿Hablaste con alguien? No, no hablé con nadie. All right, let's put your skills to the test. Try to predict the Spanish of each of these sentences before we show it. I don't want to eat anything. No quiero comer nada. He'd do anything to win. Haría cualquier cosa para ganar. She didn't eat anything all day. No comió nada todo el día. Why didn't you say anything? ¿Por qué no dijiste nada? All right, one more for the bonus round. There wasn't anyone there. No había nadie allí. All right, how'd you do? To quickly recap, you can use cualquier cosa for anything in a broad sense, as in, puedes hacer cualquier cosa. You'll use algo for something more specific, as in, ¿quieres algo de la tienda? And then you'll use nada when you would use algo, but there's a negative involved, as in, no quiero nada. Okay, are you ready to get even better at this? We have a set of 30 flashcards that you can download for free with even more examples you can practice with. Click the link in the description for flashcards with all the examples from this video and a lot more. If you practice these for just a few minutes a day, you'll be using cualquier cosa, algo, and nada flawlessly. And then for some fun ways to use flashcards like these to practice effectively, you'll want to look at all of our videos about using Spanish flashcards. Just subscribe to this channel and you'll get lots more grammar and study tips that'll get you speaking Spanish fluently, faster than ever.